News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
It's now 4:05 on this Friday afternoon, and I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU local headlines. We're working toward the weekend and beginning KVNU's For the People show with our top local stories. Well, billionaire developer Kevin O'Leary is now admitting that he screwed up the initial rollout of that massive data center that's being proposed for Box Elder County. Now, after facing intense public backlash, O'Leary has agreed now to slash the Stratus project's developed footprint by 75%. Now, in a recent interview this week, he acknowledged that he and state leaders made a huge mistake by not addressing environmental concerns from the very beginning. Now, O'Leary says that he is now personally taking over the project's communications to guarantee transparency. He also revealed that federal agencies involved in national security are the potential tenants for the $15 billion facility. However, local opposition still remains fierce. Organizers with the Box Elder Accountability Referendum Group are dismissing O'Leary's recent concessions, that is, as being performance art. Now, opponents argue that despite the downsizing, the remote county and its nearby migratory bird refuge are simply too ecologically vulnerable for a project of this scale. Well, Utah State University is mourning the loss of renowned philanthropist Karen Huntsman, who passed away earlier this week. Now, while widely known for her public service, USU leaders are remembering Huntsman as a steadfast champion of higher education. Now, it was back in 2007 that Karen and her late husband, John Huntsman, made a historic $26 million donation to the university. Now, the transformational gift established the John M. Huntsman School of Business, setting a foundation that continues to support thousands of students today. Now, beyond her massive financial contributions, Huntsman actively shaped state policy as well, serving 12 years on the Utah State Board of Regents. Now, she consistently emphasized that a university's most important job is teaching honesty and integrity. Now, USU President Brad Mortensen extended his deepest condolences to the Huntsman family, expressing profound gratitude for Karen's remarkable life, enduring example, and her lasting contributions to the university community. And finally, an Ogden police officer shot and killed a 64-year-old man early yesterday morning to stop a violent knife attack. Now, officers say they rushed to an apartment complex on Madison Avenue at about 6 a.m. following multiple 911 calls. Now, Police Chief Jake Soob says that when officers entered the apartment, they found a violent struggle underway and witnessed the suspect actively stabbing another man. Now, an officer fired their weapon, fatally striking the attacker. Investigators say the deceased suspect was a parole fugitive with an active felony warrant. Now, the stabbing victim was transported to a local hospital and remains in critical but stable condition. Now, the officer who fired the fatal shots is on standard administrative leave while a critical incident team investigates. Now, Chief Soob praised the officer's quick response and emphasized that there is no ongoing threat to the community. Well, we have a gorgeous weekend ahead of us. It is going to be hot, but we're going to enjoy sunny skies. Temperatures have been in the high 80s today. Tonight, we're going to drop into the mid-50s. See a few clouds overnight tonight. Those will clear, leave us with sunny skies tomorrow. Temperatures expected to be around 91 tomorrow afternoon. Then mid to high 70s on Sunday, back into the 80s for Monday and Tuesday of next week. And it looks like we could see now a chance of some showers and thunderstorms Tuesday through Thursday of next week. We'll see if it actually happens. And Weather This Hour is brought to you by Matt Robbins, now with the Alera Group, to give you more options when it comes to all your insurance needs. If you're confused about coverage or rates increasing, give Matt Robbins a call today at 752-0101. And I'll have another check of local news coming up at the bottom of the hour, as KVNU News Time is now 4:09, and it's time for KVNU's For the People show with Jason Williams here on KVNU.
Did you know you can cut your Rocky Mountain power bill by 40 to 50% without a single solar panel? With the new time of use rates, power is 4.5 times more expensive in the evening, but cheap during the day. At Greenbox Solar, we install smart home batteries that charge up when electricity is cheap, then power your home during peak hours. Solar is totally optional and can be added in the future, but savings are guaranteed. Drop by Greenbox Solar's showroom in South Logan to see the hardware for yourself. Visit our website at poweredbygreenbox.com.
Are you a country music fan? Rock, pop, hip-hop? The kind of music that gets you moving. If so, you're going to love this year's Cache Valley Cruise in concert, featuring rising country music star Cooper Allen. This guy's energy is off the charts. His music has millions of streams, and when he sings, the whole place feels it. Cooper Allen live with special guest Ingrid Andress. Incredible music and even better live and up close. Ingrid Andress, Cooper Allen, Thursday, July 2nd at this year's Cache Valley Cruise In. And it's shaping up to be an all-American night of music, friends, and fun. And you should be there. Buy your tickets now at the Cache Valley Cruise In website or in-store at Lee's Marketplace. Ingrid Andress, Cooper Allen at this year's Cache Valley Cruise In concert. Buy your tickets today.
KVNU's For the People with Jason Williams and Bill Walter.
And it is Utah known as the fraud capital of the world. Not because we have more people committing fraud, but because we have so many people falling for it.
Going beneath the headlines and connecting you to the newsmakers.
The radio is a great way to get the word out to a lot of people in an emergency. So we thank you for your help and being a partner with us.
For the People on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, online at 610kvnu.com, and on the KVNU mobile app.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Friday, June 5th. I'm Jason Williams. Coming up on the show today, For the People movie show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com, of course, and revisiting a couple of conversations we had that are very timely right now, considering that our guest in the back half of this hour stars in a show that is opening for the second time here in Logan, June 18th. Just a bit from now. That's not something you get to say very often. We have Hansen Johns, who plays Charlie Bucket in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, joining us after the news at the bottom of the hour. But to kick things off here, an excuse for me to talk about one of my favorite organizations in the Valley, CAPSA. For those not familiar with what CAPSA does, I would recommend that you familiarize yourself via their website, CAPSA.org, because what they do is a lot, and they depend on community support, support from the state legislature, and also the general ability of people here in Cache Valley to help them out with spreading the word on their services that they offer, because CAPSA is in the business, for lack of a better word, of doing everything they can to prevent domestic violence, and sadly, not being a perfect world when prevention isn't an option, help those affected by it to navigate to a safer place and a more solid place to plant their feet. CAPSA has been recognized for this in a lot of different ways over the years, from awards on their financial management, what they do with donors' money, to, as I mentioned, setting this up as we left hour one, CAPSA being recognized by the state legislature in a way that is probably the most impactful way the legislature recognizes anyone or any organization, and that is a discussion of how to take what CAPSA is doing and spread it throughout the state. That was literally a conversation that happened a couple of years ago in a committee hearing, and it's my favorite way to set CAPSA up. So joining us here in the studio, our good friend from CAPSA. He's joined us here on the show many times over, Josh Thompson. And Josh, you brought a friend.
Yeah, today we brought Mike Udy with us. He oversees all the operations over at Saddleback Harley today, and has been doing that for a while. We are super excited about an event that's happening there. So welcome, Mike.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And Mike, before we started, I knew it had been a while. I didn't know it had been this long, but you just casually mentioned this. You guys are headed into a 23rd anniversary.
Yeah, we're celebrating 23 years being here in Logan. This Saturday, we're going to have a little party. So we're going to have a live band and have Herms in, cater some food. And,
on site.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Location.
Yeah.
Very cool.
12 to 2. Join us.
I was just impressed. He just kind of threw that out like it was nothing. Oh, yeah, by the way, 23rd anniversary. I knew it had been a while. I didn't know it had been this long. Can you talk a little bit about what makes you want to get, both personally but also through Logan Saddleback Harley business, involved in supporting CAPSA?
Well, about 9 months ago, I took my first tour of CAPSA. And if you go down there and you check out what they're really doing down there, you cannot leave there and not be impressed. Sure. They're doing a great job. I'm just going to throw some stats out here. Josh, please help me if these are wrong. 1 in 3 women are affected by domestic violence or sexual abuse. 1 in 5 men. So those stats are pretty mind-blowing. And once you go down there and see that they're housing, they have 32 beds. They have a 92% occupancy rating at all times down there. They're doing a lot of good stuff, and we just want to help them.
That's honestly, I couldn't agree more, Mike. It's hard to, sell CAPSA when we're not you, Josh, and we're talking with people about things that can get involved in locally or things you can donate money to. It's a lot of people think of CAPSA and they think, oh, that's the domestic violence housing organization, which is true, right? But that's 10% of it these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we do, and really the reason why I think the legislature has looked at seeing how that can be expanded across the state is because we're really focused on solid outcomes. We're focused on helping our clients achieve independence, and so we have that housing. That's a core part. I mean, even physically, if you go to our space, it's in the center of what we do, but that's complemented by casework and by therapy and by transitional housing. And Jason, one of the things that you mentioned too is like we rely on the support of the community. We do have a lot of government funding, but it's just over half of our funding, and so we have. In our budget, we're looking for about $3 million annually that comes from private funding. And what that does is it actually allows us to get those outcomes that we're seeking. That government funding gives us 5 options on what we can do. And those are all important things. But then when we have the private funding that says, hey, we trust you with our funds to get the right outcomes, when our caseworkers or our therapists see hey, we've done 2 of the 3 things that our government funding lets us do, but this client needs solution A and solution B and solution C as well.
Sure.
We've got that supplement from private funding to really get good solid outcomes. We're not pigeonholed into these really strict paths.
It's honestly amazing what's done, and also as Mike was very humble about 23 years for Saddleback Harley here in Logan, you're very humble about what CAPSA does because folks, I mean, this is everything from obviously on-site housing and counseling services, critical services for someone experiencing domestic violence, but also training in businesses and classrooms. And they've even been here, the Cache Valley Media Group before, training us on how to talk, smartly and productively about domestic violence. This is a 100% preventable thing. And yet it is not prevented. It's tragically a big part of life in Cache Valley, life in northern Utah for many, many people. And CAPSA is here to help with many different services. And again, they do that through community support, state and even federal government support. And you should get to know them more. CAPSA.org, again, is CAPSA.org. And again, we're talking here in the studio with both Josh Thompson of CAPSA, but also Mike Udy of the Intermountain Harley-Davidson location here in Logan, Saddleback Harley-Davidson, and their event. Well, a couple of them. We'll mention this. First off, if you want to be a part of the Saddleback 23rd anniversary open house bash, that is this Saturday, all day, it looks like, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah, the food will be there from about 12 to 2, and the band will be playing about that time too, so...
Okay.
That's when the highlight is going to be.
That's very cool. Live music, 12 to 2, I see here. Food on site from Herm's Inn, raffles, giveaways, and more. And that is at the Saddleback Harley-Davidson location, 455 South Main Street. And while you're there, you can find out more about the CAPSA charity ride at Saddleback Harley-Davidson. And that's why we're talking with Mike and Josh here today specifically. This is Saturday, June 27th. And this is an annual event to benefit CAPSA. And I love the themes this year, stopping harm and creating hope. Was that you, Josh, or was that you, Mike?
I have to give all the credit to Josh.
I was going to say, I actually don't remember how that came out. It feels, honestly, the whole event has been a huge amount of teamwork. And Jason, I love hearing you say this is an annual event, because it is. This is our first annual event. Just as we look to expand not only fundraising opportunities and ways for the community to get involved, we also thought it'd be an incredible way for the community to feel the support. One of the things that survivors struggle with is feeling like they're alone, and so this is a great way to feel heard. Like the roar of all these motorcycles going through Cache Valley and over into Box Elder County and back through. I mean, it's a literal way to hear and show the support that you have for helping people find that hope.
I love these rides because we've all had this experience. You're driving along and you realize there's a ride happening. You know, you're seeing them go by. And the first thing everyone wants to know is, okay, what's the occasion here? And so then you look and then you're talking about it. It's probably one of the most effective awareness raising events you can do. And obviously here in Cache Valley, do you have any guesses as to how many people you expect to show up?
Our goal is 100.
Okay. That's an easy goal. We can do that. Out there listening right now, there's at least 100 of you ready to be a part of this. Deadlines on registration, anything like that people need to know?
No, I mean, you can show up day of and come ride. Mike has also graciously accepted non-Harleys to this event as well.
Oh, wow.
All bikes are welcome.
Are you going to hear about that after?
We prefer
maybe
Harleys.
Maybe a little bit.
No, we want everybody to be involved because it's for a good cause. 100% of all proceeds go to CAPSA. So it's going to be $25 entry fee per person and then $5 for your passenger. So $30 for two people.
Pretty decent deal.
We're going to feed you. You can also enter to win some raffle prizes. We had a customer make a quilt out of Harley-Davidson T-shirts.
Oh, really?
It's a really cool quilt.
Oh, wow. And that's being given away?
It's on display right now at the shop. You can stop by and check it out anytime.
I'm going to have to go see that. That's pretty impressive. A full quilt out of Harley-Davidson T-shirts that will be given away as part of this. Now, it starts here. I see here, you can start the day with donuts and coffee or hot chocolate before the ride. And then you mentioned this afterwards, lunch included for those who are participating. And again, this is part of raising awareness for CAPSA, getting people talking about and thinking about CAPSA. And Josh, you've told us before that you've learned as an organization, you've learned that's sometimes the most effective thing people can do to prevent domestic violence, right? Is have a conversation about, even if you're just talking about what CAPSA does. That can help, right?
Yeah, just talking about it is a huge thing, because you think about the prevalence of it. Mike shared this statistic of 1 in 3 women in their lifetime will experience domestic violence. That's about the same rate as the number of people that will experience cancer. And you think about how much attention cancer gets, and I'm not here trying to like pit one against the other. They're both awful things.
Sure.
But if you're in a room with 100 people and say, "Hey, how many of y'all know a cancer survivor?" Every hand is going up.
Yeah.
They'll know it's something that we talk about, and there's not really shame around it. But if you're to ask that same group of people, how many of y'all know a domestic violence survivor? It's unlikely that same number of hands is going to go up.
And yet, statistically speaking,
it's the same.
We all do, but we don't.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep. And so being able to talk about it, normalizing talking about it, normalizing asking for help, normalizing that it's okay to go to a place. And that's another thing too. We hear a lot of times survivors will say, like, I wasn't sure if my situation was bad enough to go to CAPSA. And that
Sure.
breaks my heart, because if you're questioning coming at all,
you probably should, right?
You should. Give us a call. I mean, that number, we answer that phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. It's a true 24/7 call line.
Josh, tell them how many calls you get on a daily basis. This will blow your mind.
Yeah. We get just over 20 calls every day.
Really?
So that comes out to over 8,000 calls in a year.
And we're talking right now serving the northern Utah, southeastern Idaho area, right?
Yeah, northern.
20 calls a day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is, by the way, that support line 24/7 again is 435-753-2500. In Idaho, 208-540-8536. And you can find those right at the top of the page at CAPSA.org. Where you can also find the link for this specific benefit and others that are coming up. And again, we're talking about the annual Ride for CAPSA. Saddleback Harley-Davidson of Logan presenting this event that will take place every year, kicking off with the inaugural event this June 27th. It's a Saturday. Things get officially underway at 10:30, but they are inviting people down early for donuts and coffee or hot chocolate. As Mike explained, very cheap to register for this, but everything does go directly to CAPSA. And very cool that Logan Saddleback Harley-Davidson is organizing this event, raising awareness about CAPSA, and for a fun thing, too, a ride. Now, you're going to go all the way over into Box Elder, you said, and then loop back?
Yeah, we're going to loop around, go through the canyon, Sardine.
That is very cool.
Most rides kind of stay here in the valley, but we want to leave and show them some good stuff.
That's very cool.
Another thing I'd like to say about the success of this ride is our sponsors. We have some great sponsors. So those sponsors are going to be on the T-shirts that we're making, and those T-shirts will be available for sale. We're going to sell them for $20, and 100% of all that money is going to CAPSA.
Very cool.
I'd like to thank the Logo Shop here in Logan for making those T-shirts for us.
They put the shirts together.
Yes.
Very
Great
nice.
Organization.
Hats off to the Logo Shop. This is, and we should mention this as well. This includes, for everyone who registers for the ride on the 27th, lunch included. Herm's in providing that. Kickstands up at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday the 27th. Return to Saddleback Harley storefront sometime between 12:30 and 1, roughly. And then just after 1, live music, raffles, food, and entertainment in general. And you can register directly. I've linked to this on our Facebook page, but it's right there also on the events page of Saddleback Harley-Davidson, which I've also linked to. I'll read it out to you here. It is capsa.givevirtuously.org, and then if you just click on event, you can find it there. Or you can just visit saddlebackharleydavidson.com and click on their event calendar as well. And they also, we should mention this, before this event on June 6th, you're also hosting in Salt Lake City through Saddleback Make-A-Wish Summer Concert event. Can you talk a little bit about this broadly, Mike? This is something that we see. So these Harley-Davidson stores throughout Utah, this is a big part of that world, right? These fundraisers, these events, supporting the community. Where does that come from?
It's our way of giving back.
Okay.
We want to give back to the community.
That is very cool.
We appreciate your support.
And not every business does this, but you do see that with the Harley-Davidson locations throughout the state. They're always doing something. So support them in supporting us, right? Again, more information at saddlebackharleydavidson.com. There's a link there for the June 27th Ride for CAPSA. Registration open until day of, actually. So you've got plenty of time. And thanks to our guests, again, Josh Thompson of CAPSA. Learn more about what CAPSA does. Support their work directly at capsa.org. Register for the Ride for CAPSA on June 27th at saddlebackharleydavidson.com. And thanks again to you, Josh, to you, Mike, both for being here. Thanks for our listeners for being here as well. Before we part ways, a couple of quick questions from listeners here about tomorrow's big garage sale at the Eccles Ice Arena. First off, let me say this is a really fun thing to go to. But a couple of listeners have asked if it is possible to register for a booth still. I'm not sure if the spaces are full, but I know you can find out by clicking on the events tab at CashValleyMediaGroup.com. And there is registration there for the garage sale tomorrow. If there are spaces left, it will let you register. So, easy way to figure that out. I'd try it myself here, but I actually just killed my browser. But again, that is CashValleyMediaGroup.com for tomorrow's big garage sale. Appreciate that question coming in. Again, if you've never been to that, it is a pretty fun event, and you should definitely check it out. So, thanks again to Mike and Josh for being here. Thanks again to our listeners for being here, and I hope you'll stick around. On the other side, summer movie season preview continues. There is a lot this summer, and a lot of it likely good. So we'll talk more about the summer movie season with our good friend, Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com, joining us for the For the People movie show. That's next here on KVNU Logan. Ignore me. The hour's not over. Hansen Johns of Lyric Repertory Company is next after this look at the news with KVNU's.
Well, thank you, Jason. Utah officials are urging drivers to tie down their cargo ahead of National Secure Your Load Day tomorrow. Now, despite a recent decline in crashes, dispatchers still say they field up to 70 calls a day about road debris, and that adds up to 25,000 calls and 700 preventable crashes every year across the state. Now, Utah Highway Patrol troopers say they've seen everything from loose coolers to kayaks scattered across the highways and interstate. Now, they warn that this type of debris can cause dangerous chain reaction crashes when drivers swerve to avoid the hazards. Now, drivers caught with unsecured loads can face fines of up to $1,000 and possible misdemeanor charges. Now, troopers say that if you do drop an item on the highway, never try to retrieve it yourself. Instead, pull over safely, dial 911 so that authorities can then properly halt traffic to clear the road. In other news, a 54-year-old Smithfield man is awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to sharing child sexual abuse material online. David Max Gillenskog appeared in Logan's 1st District Court late last month to accept a plea deal. Now, he pleaded guilty to 5 felony counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, and in exchange, prosecutors dismissed 25 remaining charges. Now, Logan police arrested Gillenskog back in late 2022 after tracking his IP address through a file-sharing network. Now, investigators seized multiple devices from his home, uncovering thousands of illegal images and videos, mostly of young girls. Now, Gillenskog initially claimed that the FBI had planted the files and he publicly insulted the arresting officer. However, he recently admitted to intentionally downloading and storing the illicit content. Now, after years of legal delays and competency evaluations, the case is finally nearing its conclusion. Gillenskog remains in the Cache County Jail ahead of his sentencing that's coming up July 22nd. And finally, rising gas prices are putting a major strain on the Utah Food Bank, just as summer demand is heating up. Officials at the Southern Utah Distribution Center say that transporting goods is one of their highest expenses. And as schools are closed for the summer, more families are relying on food assistance. However, high fuel costs are creating a double-edged sword, as it's harder for rural residents to drive to get help, and it's significantly more expensive for the food bank to deliver to remote areas. Now, in southern Utah, the organization supplies dozens of mobile pantries to try to reach out to rural communities that lack grocery stores. The director there, Jacob Miner, says that the extra miles, though, put a heavy financial burden on the nonprofit organization, sparking concerns that rising transportation costs could impact their operations. Now, for now, the Utah Food Bank is asking the community throughout the state to step up by donating time and money and food. The organization is currently working to try to provide summer meals to kids throughout the state. Well, we've got a gorgeous forecast as we're going to see warm temperatures continuing as we've been in the high 80s today. Tonight will drop to around 57 overnight. See a few clouds this evening. Then even warmer weather tomorrow, low 90s expected for Saturday before we'll see mid to high 70s on Sunday. Looks like it's going to remain sunny and clear into next week. By Tuesday, though, we'll start to see some clouds that could bring the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms. We'll wait and see if it happens. And it's Whole Tree Care that brings you our weather here at the bottom of the hour. With over 30 years of experience, they can safely trim, shape, and remove trees around your home. Give them a call today or check them out online at wholetreecare.com. And I'm Will Feelright for KVNU News.
My friend John Hansen at the Duct Hunter has constantly educated you about the need for ductwork cleaning in your home. But what about your cabin or summer home outside the valley? You need that home's ductwork cleaned too. With high pollen counts in the mountains, dust always in the wind, and road construction ever present, the old adage of out of sight, out of mind is bad. Give the Duct Hunter a call at 770-4813 to clean out those dirty ducts in your summer home.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home.
News. I'm Mike Dubusky. Oral arguments today in a case over whether President Trump has the authority to build a new ballroom at the White House. Construction was halted by a lower court after a lawsuit brought by historical preservationists. Now the president's team is pushing for that decision to be thrown out. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
The government argues that the ballroom is necessary for national security, pointing to the drone port that the president says will be on the roof of the new ballroom, the bulletproof glass and the blast-proof columns. The appeals court panel that heard this today is comprised of appointees of Presidents Obama, Biden, and Trump. And it was really difficult to get a sense just listening to the questions for 2 hours over where this is going to land. But you can imagine that the losing side is probably going to take it to the Supreme Court.
And police have charged 44-year-old Michael Gledhill with murder in connection with the death of character actor James Handy. Gledhill, the son of Handy's girlfriend, is being held for psychiatric evaluation. This is ABC News.
Bringing Wall Street to Main Street. From your local experts in downtown Logan, this is the Adams Wealth Advisors Market Report.
Hi, this is Brooke with Adams Wealth Advisors. The market's strong rally lost momentum by the end of the week, as all major stock indices moved lower on Friday. Ironically, investors reacted negatively to what was otherwise encouraging economic news. The latest employment report showed that far more jobs were added to the economy than expected, while the unemployment rate remained unchanged. The strength of the labor market surprised many analysts and prompted investors to reconsider the outlook for interest rates. In a reversal of last year's market narrative, today was a case where good news became bad news. Strong economic growth can also mean persistent inflation, and markets are increasingly concerned that the Federal Reserve may need to keep rates higher for longer, or even consider additional rate hikes in 2026. Investors responded by rotating out of growth-oriented stocks and into more defensive areas of the market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which tends to have a more defensive composition, held up relatively well, falling just over 1% to 50,867. The Nasdaq experienced a much steeper decline, dropping more than 4% to 25,709, and the S&P 500 lost more than 2.5%, ending the week at 7,384. The AI investment theme, one of the market's biggest drivers of growth, was hit particularly hard. The technology sector fell more than 5%, while consumer discretionary, which includes companies such as Amazon, declined nearly 5% as well. The bond market also sold off as investors focused on the implications of higher inflation and higher interest rates. Compared with last Friday, the 5-year Treasury yield surged 12.5 basis points to 4.27%, while the 10-year yield rose 8 basis points to 4.54%. Gold moved lower as well, falling below the 4,400 mark. Despite the market's struggle this week, the underlying economic data painted a picture of a remarkably resilient U.S. economy. At the same time, little progress appears to have been made in resolving tensions with Iran. For investors, however, the strength of the economy has become a double-edged sword. markets are increasingly concerned that the Federal Reserve may place greater emphasis on controlling inflation than on supporting employment in the months ahead. This is Adams Wealth Advisors. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to bringing you more insights next week.
That's your update from Adams Wealth Advisors, guiding your financial future one day at a time. For personalized help planning yours, reach out to us at 435-752-1702. See you soon, Cache Valley. Advisory services offered through Adams Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. For important disclosures and more information, visit adamswealthadvisors.com.
He was a stranger. He walked in looking for danger. When he stares at you, he can train you down and make you fall in love.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Moving on to a very special guest joining us here in the studio to go behind the scenes of the upcoming Charlie and the Chocolate Factory shows. Some people in the Valley had a chance to see, well, a lot of people in the Valley had a chance to see these shows when they ran as part of the regular school year calendar for USU Music Theater Department. But the Lyric Repertory Company is bringing it back. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory opens June 18th and runs all the way up until a couple of shows, June 27th and 25th as well. Most of the shows are 7:30. There are a couple of 1 p.m. matinees, and you can get the tickets by clicking on calendar at usu.edu or follow the link on our arts page on the For the People Show Facebook page and Instagram account. And joining us here in the studio, it seems almost an understatement to say from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory production, because this person is actually playing the role in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that drives the whole plot. Charlie Bucket joining us here in the studio, Hansen Johns. And Hansen, appreciate taking some time for us today. We've been talking a little bit before we started here, and again, it feels almost cheating you to say this is a very complex role to play. I think what's fascinating, what people should know starting out here is that this was wrapping up your first year at Utah State University, and yet you were really good.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So, how did you get there?
Well, I don't even know. Lot of prayers from everyone.
Fair.
I actually wasn't even going to come up to Utah State.
Really?
It was like very beginning of last summer when I was like, oh, Vanessa called me and she's like, come to Utah State. And I was like, okay.
Really?
Cool. She convinced me to come up. So I came up, wasn't even going to be here. We auditioned for Charlie back in November, I think.
Really?
Maybe it was October. And so when I found out the role, I had months to sit there and think, how am I going to do this? And then started rehearsals in end of February.
Really?
Mid-February, I think. Yeah.
And the show, I forget, when did the show open?
Mid-April.
Okay.
Beginning of April. I don't remember the specific date. I think it was April 10th.
So you've been playing Charlie for a while.
Yeah.
Now, what was it like to wrap up your freshman year in college with such a big role and a show that was basically selling out?
Yeah. It was really stressful because all year everybody was talking about like, oh, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that's going to be the big show of the year, and everybody's excited for it. And to be a freshman and to get the lead role, I was very surprised by that.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't expect it?
I was not expecting that at all. Super fun. It was crazy busy at the end of my second semester.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. I was like, still trying to figure things out.
What's that like? This is what I've always thought was unique about college theater. You are a student at the same time, and obviously, this is a production that is part of your education as well. But you still have all these other classes. You have finals. You have everything else that stresses a college student out. Working outside of class as well. That's a lot. Yeah. What drives you to take all of that on?
I don't know, just the love for it.
Really?
I guess. Yeah, I love theater and I love to do it. So the best thing about the program is, no, you're good. Perfect. Okay.
I just forgot to adjust that before we started.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I love theater. I love to perform. I love to pretend, I guess. I've always pretended my whole life. I didn't start doing theater until like 7th grade. But
what was your first ever show?
It was The Hobbit, the musical.
Oh, really?
Oh, wait. Actually, no, that's such a lie. I did some shows in elementary school, and actually Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was my first show.
Oh, okay.
I always forget about those shows I did in elementary school.
Really? So you've had some experience with this before?
Yes, I was an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, very cool.
It was very fun. So it's fun to redo a show I've done.
That's nice.
It was a different version of it.
Sure.
It was like the junior version. I don't remember anything from it, except for that I got to wear a green wig. Anyway.
Which is always fun, right? Even,
of course.
Even going to the grocery store.
But keeping track and to have the motivation to do everything, I just love it so much. And it's easier in the program I am in because all my classes basically are stuff I love to do.
Okay.
Because we're doing dance classes and singing classes and acting classes. And then on top of that, I do have to take generals, but I've been doing all those online, so I don't actually have to go to class.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I just love to do it.
This is a career for you. You envision this as a career at post-college?
Yeah. Yep.
That is, I predict you're going to be famous. This is one of the reasons I like to do these interviews, because I'm going to get a chance to one day be pointing at a poster for a Broadway show or even a movie and say, hey, I know him. I met him one time.
Hey, that's the goal. That's the goal for me.
No, honestly, it's fascinating to get a chance to talk with talented people involved with these shows, because I know it's a lot of work, and on top of being a student, which is a lot of work in and of itself, and then we're so spoiled here in Cache Valley. We have all of these theater options, but there's something about USU theater, about the Lyric Rep, and the shows that are put together that they always manage to go above and beyond, set-wise, casting-wise, and you got to work with some pretty cool people as well. Is there... in this show, for listeners who haven't seen it or who haven't seen this production of it, is there a favorite part of yours?
Oh, that's a hard question for me. I love the whole show.
It's a fun show.
Different parts of it. I love the first half of it just because of how much I get to do and how exciting that is. But favorite part of the show, and I wish I could see it from the audience because I actually don't really know what it looks like. But I love the elevator scene at the end of the show. It's very fun to sing the song with Stefan. Great to work with. I think the song is really impactful.
Yeah.
Just in the sense of even going into the theater world, and Stefan is like, hey, or Willy Wonka's like, I'm handing this to you. This is my world. Take care of it.
Yeah.
And it's very fun to get that from Stefan, who's done this his whole life, basically. And I feel like he's telling that to me, and I love it.
It's one of my favorite things about the story, and for some reason, for me personally, it's more impactful when I've seen it on the stage than when I've seen the films. It's the best ending, I think, of any of the classics, if you will, that get a lot of stage production. But this is, if people forget this, we all think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as this kind of over-the-top, very colorful production, and this one is, but you forget that this is actually a very emotional story.
Yeah.
With a story to tell. There's a point to all of this. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated that when I saw this production, that seems to come to the forefront a little more.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel that was a decision in this production to make that a little more prominent?
Yes, absolutely. We, first week of rehearsals, all kind of talked about our character's backstory and, what we're looking for.
Okay.
And Vanessa was open on talking about us, about, oh, I think this means this. And, we talked about the ending. And anyways, it definitely pushed in that direction of, I don't know how to explain it, actually.
I get that.
But I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It was kind of an unfair question, too.
No,
because I know. So the whole theater environment, to me, is fascinating because you're one member of a large cast and everything has to go well. But you have some really key scenes in this production that drive things home a little bit. What was it like to do that on the stage? And then when this was first running, you would go home, I assume, take a shower, go to bed, get up, and go to class the next morning.
Yeah.
A little exhausting?
Very exhausting.
It's also a physical role, very physical role.
Oh, yeah.
But you have these emotional scenes where you really have to do it as well as you did, be in that headspace.
Mm-hmm.
Did you cry ever off stage?
Oh, yeah.
Was it that impactful?
Yes, absolutely. I think, honestly, even in our first read through, I think at the end of the show, I think both me and Stefan, when we were singing that last song, like started to get teary eyed, and we were like, "Well," but no. Throughout the whole rehearsal process, I don't know if I was crying because of the stuff I was playing, or if I was just so tired.
Fair enough.
Probably both, honestly. But yeah, no, especially when working on the first half of the show, because that first half of the show was honestly pretty sad.
Yeah.
For Charlie, and to have to play that and stuff was very difficult.
Sure.
And hard to play, as also in my circumstances of life and just trying to get through my first year of college.
Yeah.
And stuff, so.
Which is, I mean, that's a lot anyway.
Yeah.
Just doing that. But I remember my first year, I cried several times, and I wasn't in a play. But this is, I think, what makes going to see a show like this so fascinating to me. If you realize everything that's gone into it, and then a unique thing this summer to have it run through the regular school year and then to come back as part of the Lyrics summer season with everything else that's going on out there as well. This gives you an opportunity to extend your run as Charlie Bucket, and then you're involved in other ways with the Lyric as well, right?
Yeah.
They keep you busy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you have, I mean, I know that others get to make these decisions and have the final say, but do you have a please let me do this role in mind for the upcoming school years ahead of you?
Oh.
Is there one that you would absolutely love to play?
I actually, I don't know, but I mean, I've thought of shows that I would love to do. Sadly, Floyd Collins is one of them, but they've already done that.
They can do it again, though.
I know.
It's been a while.
They could. I'm like, hey, guys.
It's been a couple of years.
Let's do Floyd Collins again. I love that one. I have shows that I would just love to be in. I want to be in Heathers. It's a crazy musical. I don't know if they'd ever do it.
That's some of the best lines.
Yeah. Some crazy stuff's in that musical, but also I don't know why I love that musical so much.
That's funny.
I listen to it all the time. I'm like, can we do this? This would be fun to do.
It's a great story, actually.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I would love to do that.
Well, when I talk to Vanessa next, I'll do whatever I can to put a word in. But
please.
This is an opportunity for you to, very early on get to flex a little bit and show off. I predict a bright college career for you. Is there a role you don't want to play? Is there one that this is always a fascinating question for me to ask, because I feel like every actor I've ever talked to has one role or one production that they just kind of think isn't great and they'd rather not be associated with it.
I honestly do not know if I have one.
That's cool.
There's never been a show that I've seen that I'm like, I would never do that.
Really?
Yeah.
That is.
Every time I see a show, I'm like, oh, maybe they didn't do it how I liked it, but I would like to try to do it how I think it would be good.
Okay.
I guess.
That is.
I don't know.
So this desire to do this started really young for you. Do you have theories on what, you said you like to pretend, you like to.
Yeah.
What makes this such a fulfilling thing to do, to put this much time and effort into it?
I think the impact it can have on people is really special. I mean, every show, it doesn't matter what the show is, there's always a meaning behind it.
Sure.
And I always want to try to show that meaning in the performance and have the audience take whatever they can take from it. Like, obviously if somebody comes to the show and they're like, that was great, loved it.
Sure.
But I want them to go home thinking like, wow, like this happened in the show, and I want them to think about that and why that would change them, or why they should change because of that, or yeah.
That's why we do this, right?
Yeah.
As audience members, we go to be moved in some way. Whether it's a super happy thing that's going to make us laugh, or even seeing a stand-up comedian, or a show that's going to break your heart and make you cry every single time you see it.
Right.
That's why we're all going. this is, to me, what makes it such a fascinating thing to talk to someone on the inside because, to use terms you'd use towards, a job or a career, what an interesting job to have. You're going to go on stage and make people feel stuff.
Yeah.
But also that has to be a bit intimidating.
It's very intimidating.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you ever get to a point in this run, the first run of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where you just walked on stage totally confident, totally not worried about anything going wrong? You'd done it enough times at that point, or?
Yeah. I mean, every time before the show, I check all my props. I'm like, okay, we're good.
Sure.
So then, obviously opening night, I was terrified, shaking in my boots.
I can imagine.
But by the time we got to the second week, I was pretty comfortable with it. I was like, okay, we got this. Something can go wrong. I trust everybody that I work with. We're going to figure it out, and it'll be okay,
Sure.
And then there were some shows where they were great. I was like, that was perfect and stuff. So I didn't really get nervous by the end of the shows. I would get sometimes nervous about knowing who was in the audience, honestly. If I knew a close friend of mine was in the audience, I'd get nervous and be like, oh, what if they don't like the show?
I get that.
And all that
I'd
stuff.
never want to know.
I know. I would always be thinking about that.
That's, I've mentioned this to you already. I won't go into detail to spoil anything for listeners, but you have a single line in this show that, for me personally, I feel like it kind of drives the point of the story home entirely. And you present it in a way that is so perfect, and I could hear everyone around me kind of having the same reaction I was having to that one line. Do you, as you go through and prepare and learn the lines and learn the blocking where you're supposed to be on the stage and all of that, do you also sit down and say to yourself, okay, this is what I want to convey here. Do you go so far as to say, this is what I want my face to look like in this scene? Because you do a really good job of that. And the scene I'm talking about, for those who haven't seen it, when you see it, you'll know exactly which one I'm talking about. But everything from your facial expression to your posture to the way you deliver the line is so perfect. I want to know how many times you practice that in front of the mirror.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. That means a lot. Second of all, when I'm rehearsing by myself and stuff, I'll sometimes film myself and go back and watch it and be like, oh, I didn't like how I did that. Change that somehow.
Really?
Yeah. But
I feel
another
like
thing,
such a slacker now because I try to avoid listening to my shows because I listen to myself and think, oh, you sound like such a dork. That's impressive.
What?
You would actually film yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes it's very hard to go back and watch, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm horrible. What am I doing? But then I just have to trust the process. And another thing that I love Vanessa's directing style, because she would go through and if there was something that I did and she had her own take on it, she was like, hey, Hansen, what do you think about maybe playing it this way? Or how would you like to play that? And she would make me think about that.
Oh, okay.
Also probably a lot of her teaching coming in there, she's training us.
Sure.
But she'd be like, what do you think about playing it this way? Or, hey, Hansen, can you take a second there after you say that line, process what you just said? Or do you think that impacted that other person, and how does that affect you? And
that's very cool.
And how to show that and stuff. And so I loved that about Vanessa. She would really pull that out.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
She's very talented. You're very talented. Everyone should go see this show. And again, you have a second opportunity to do so, not something you always get with the productions through the Lyric Repertory Company. But Charlie and the Chocolate Factory coming back again, opens June 18th and runs until the middle of July, actually. You get an opportunity to see, there are a couple of matinees. Most of the show's 7:30. Tickets are cheap. You see Hansen Johns on stage, our guest here, but also a whole cast of very talented people. And probably one of the best Augustus Gloops, I think, that I've seen.
Kaito does amazing.
Production.
I love Kaito.
Very, very talented guy. This is really an opportunity to get out and see this. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, again, opening June 18th. You can get tickets at usu.edu. Just click on calendar and click ahead to June 18th. You'll see the links there, or visit the Chase Fine Arts Center website as well. I've linked to all of those on our own Facebook page. And I want to thank our guest, Hansen Johns, a cast member playing Charlie Bucket in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And remember his name. You're going to hear more from Hansen Johns, I think, and see his name a lot. And one day, again, I'll be out there saying, hey, I knew him. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for your time as well. Stick around. More to come right after this.
Know about it. Talk about it.
This nation belongs to all of us.
News Talk KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.